Hello everyone, you are watching Com Concepts Pro. I hope you are all clear on the concepts of arrays by now. In my next few videos, I'll be discussing about the structure of linked list and the operations that can be performed on the linked list. This video covers an explanation on the structure of linked list and a comparison of linked list with the arrays. A linked list is also a linear data structure like an array, but its elements are not present at contiguous memory locations. So how we will come to know which elements are part of which linked list? The answer is all the elements of a linked list are connected to each other with the help of pointers. Pointers means the address of next element is stored, with the help of which we can find out where the next element is located in the memory and what is its value. This subunit or element of linked list containing data and the pointer is called a node. The first node of the linked list is both called as a head or start, and the last node of the linked list is both called as a tail or end. The pointer is generally denoted as next. The pointer in the node, in each node, is generally denoted as next. And the last pointer of the last node is always null. So this is how the structure of a linked list can be imagined to be. This is a single node of a linked list, in first part of whose there is data stored, and in second part of whose there is a link to the next node. So here, as you can see, all the nodes are connected to each other with the help of these links or pointers. These are the pointers pointing towards the next node. So this head is also a pointer which is pointing to the first node of the linked list, and tail pointer is pointing towards the last node of the linked list. These head and tails are also the pointer variables in the memory. So now what this pointing to and pointers these actually mean? Pointers means they store the address of the next node. Like the head pointer stores the address of this first node. That's why we are saying that head is pointing to the first node. That means head pointer is storing the address of this first node in the memory. Then here there is stored the address of the second node. Then here there is stored the address of the third node, and here there is stored the address of the fourth node, and so on, like this. And finally this tail pointer is also pointing towards the last node. So the address of last node is stored in this tail pointer. Tail pointer is mostly used when we talk about doubly linked list. In singly linked list, in case of singly linked list, tail pointer is not of much used. Anyways, this and the last pointer of the last node. This pointer of the last node stores null, because after that there is no node to be pointed. So there is no node, there is no connected node afterwards. So we cannot store any address here. That's why null is stored in the pointer of the last node. So we can see, we can understand this with this actual linked list. See this head pointer, you can see the symbol asterisk, which means that it is a pointer variable. Pointer head is storing the value 600, which is the address of this first node. This first node is located at the address 600 in the memory. Its data is 14, and then its pointer value is 100. That means the second node of this linked list is located at the memory address 100. That's why this 100 is stored in the next pointer of the first node. That means if we want to locate the second node of this particular linked list, then we have to go to the memory location 100. Then we come to the second node. So its data is 30 and its next pointer is storing the value 400. That means the third node of this linked list is located at the memory address 400. So we can reach to the memory address 400 in order to traverse to the third node of the linked list. So its data is, the data of third node is 25, and the next pointer is storing the value 500. That means the next node is located at the memory address 500, and this seems to be the last node of this linked list because its next pointer is storing the value null. That means there are no nodes connected to this particular node, and this is the last node of the linked list. Its data is 42. Now how can we achieve this structure programmatically? In C++ language, to define a complete linked list, we have to first declare individual nodes and then connect those nodes through the next pointers. So a single node is declared like this. A node is basically declared as a structure which has two fields. One is a variable of type of which we want to store the data. Like if our data is of type integer, we will declare a variable of data type int. If our data is of type character, if our data is character data, then we have to store the we have to declare this variable as data type char. And then next field is a pointer which will point to the next node of the linked list. So generally we give the user defined name next to the pointer of a linked list, and then its data type will also be struct node because this pointer is also going to point the next node of the linked list, so its data type is also is struct node. This is the basic structure of a node in the linked list. Now how to initialize individual nodes? So first is the head pointer. This will point to the first node of the linked list. So somewhere we can use the name head, and in some cases you will see the name of the first pointer is the name of the pointer which is pointing to the first node is start. So don't get confused, either head or start, both can be the names given to the pointer which is pointing to the first node. So head or start is also is a pointer variable, but its data type is of type struct node because it is going to point to the first node of the linked list. Then comes the individual nodes. So these are also defined as the pointer variables: node 1, node 2 and node 3. So these are all struct nodes because they are the nodes of the linked list. And initially we are storing the value null in these nodes. Then how to allocate the memory for these nodes? So for node 1, we are going to allocate the memory with the help of malloc function of C++. It is declared like this: malloc, then the size should be equal to the size of this structure node. So that much memory we have to allocate for this node. Similarly for node 2 and node 3 as well. Then the head pointer or the start pointer will be pointing to the first node. So we have to write this statement: head equals to 1. So this pointer will start pointing to the first node of the linked list. Then assigning data, assigning values to the linked list nodes. So this is how we store the values in the data field of the linked list. So we have to write the name of the node, which is 1, and then make this symbol, pointer symbol, and then data. So we know that actually it is a structure only. So in structure, if we have to store data in one of its fields, so we use this symbol. So that we know already. So this value will be stored in the data field of the structure 1, which is currently the node of our linked list. Similarly, in the node 2 and node 3. Now how can we connect the nodes of the linked list? As of now, we just created the individual nodes and stored values in the nodes. So in order to connect them with each other, we have to store the address of the next node in the next pointer of the previous node. So the next pointer of the node 1 will have the address of node 2 like this, and the next pointer of node 2 will store the address of node 3. So these are the statements how these nodes can be connected, or in other words we can say the address of the next nodes will be stored in the next pointer of the previous nodes. And finally, in our example, third node is the last node of our linked list, so its next pointer will be null. Now let's do a comparison between arrays and linked list. So first we'll figure out what are the limitations of array over linked list. First, once the size of an array is decided, it cannot be increased or decreased during execution of the program. For example, if we have declared an array like this in our program, then at any point of time in the program we cannot store more than 50 elements. Secondly, it might so happen at some times that enough contiguous locations might not be available for the array that we are trying to create. In such a case, we would not be allowed to create the array. Then, if we want to insert an element at a particular location or delete an element from a particular location, we have to shift a lot of elements to their preceding index positions, which requires quite a lot of programming. Now let's discuss some of the advantages of linked list over arrays. First, it is a dynamic data structure, which means a linked list can grow and shrink at runtime by allocating and deallocating memory. So there is no need to give initial size of linked list. Secondly, the nodes of linked list are scattered all over the memory locations. There is no hitch of finding a contiguous chunk of memory. Just the address of next node is stored in the previous node and we can easily locate the next node. Then, as the size of linked list can increase or decrease at runtime, there is no memory wastage. In case of array, there is a lot of memory wastage, like if we declare an array of size 10 and store only 6 elements, then the space for 4 elements is wasted. There is no such problem in linked list, as memory is allocated only when required. And lastly, insertion and deletion of nodes is quite easier as compared to array, because unlike array, we don't have to shift elements after insertion or deletion of an element. Here, we just have to update the address present in next pointer of a node. However, there are a few shortcomings of linked list as well. First, more memory is required to store elements in linked list because each node contains a pointer and it requires extra memory for itself. Secondly, elements or nodes traversal is difficult in a linked list. We cannot randomly access any element by index position as we do in the case of array. For example, if we want to access a node at position n, then we have to traverse all the nodes before it. So basically there are three types of linked list: singly linked list, doubly linked list and circular linked list. Circular linked lists are further divided into two categories: singly circular and doubly circular. So the structure and what kind of operations can be performed in on these linked lists, that these things we are going to learn in my upcoming videos in detail. So to understand these linked lists in detail, do watch my next videos. Thank you so much everyone for watching. I hope the concept of linked list is clear to you now. Do subscribe my channel for more updates.